to the stream. My name is Lee. So, for those of you who don't know, hi, my name is Lee. Not sorry. Yeah, it's close enough. Anyway, I also have pizza rolls, and in a second, also strudels. My plan is to go until the first ad break. Yes, this is much later than I usually start. So we're gonna do a shorter stream than usual, but I thought I'd give you some highlights from P.A.G.E, Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. Um, so I over this weekend attended Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. I got there Thursday, pretty much games Thursday. Stayed in the hotel Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday was a half day. I stayed overnight anyway. Uh, I just got to remember I had to book a hotel. Came back Monday morning. Monday afternoon actually it was like 11:30 by the time we left, and I got back just in time for work, which kind of sucks. But um, so um, and I'm sure I'll come wrong back from that, but you know, Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. So it was a lot of fun, and um, I'd highly recommend you go next year. There will be a page 4. I will be there. I will probably be running games if I can get my submissions in time, unlike this week. There are shenanigans involved. It will be awesome. Hang on. Also, um, um, let's see. Alright, let me just check something real quick. Did I hit the button? No, I did hit the button. Okay, good. I am streaming. Sometimes, when you're a streamer, you forget to hit the go live button, and or you forget that your microphone, you don't realize your microphone's not working. These are things that happen to streamers. Uh, weird. Um, the longer you stream, the more you get used to it, and remember to check for it. But even the most experienced streamers still slip up occasionally. Um, um, okay. Okay. But, we're doing, um, we're doing shenanigans. There are shenanigans involved. Okay, so, grand plan, there's gonna be a first thing in the morning at, first thing in the stream ad break. Um, I'm not trying to get my shit together. You know, leave me off in a bio break, and then I'll come back, and then we will be, back in the thing. Alright, so P.A.G.E. It was a lot of fun. I recommend it. I'm gonna bring up. So I went to a lot of yes, I went to a lot of stuff. I can still bring up my schedule, which is helpful. Um, so the first game we went to on um Thursday was the DC-20 system, which if I recall correctly, is a lot like well, it runs on the D20s, if I recall correctly. See, I got to play it, and already, I remember the, I remember the DM. DM was really good, and I, because I spoke to him afterward, and, let's see, yeah, the DC-20 system, which is, let's see, yeah, yeah, so, we went and, I remember the plot, actually. I remember we went and killed a giant titan, and I don't remember the specifics. Um, um, I'm pretty sure you're hoping to roll low rather than roll high, if I recall correctly. It is a fun system, if I recall. Yeah, it is a fun system. I remember having a time with it. I do not remember the specifics of the system. Um, so, um, it wasn't particularly hard to learn the rules either. Um, yeah. Oh yeah, they do have the action system, which was very helpful. So basically, you had 4 action spots you could use. Instead of having an action bonus action, you basically had 4, or was it 3 or 4 slots, and some took 2, some took 3, and some took 1. So you could do that, and you could also um, power up your moves by spending more action slots to do them. Um, yep. All right. Give me a second. I'll be back in 1 minute. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, I'm back, and I have toaster strudel. Welcome back to the stream. I'm still Lee, and oh, we are going over other stuff. So yes, the DC-20. The big thing with that is the action economy, whereas you just have multiple action slots, and you can. Okay. Oh, I think I'm not. It's like Pathfinder Second Edition that way. Classes are more simplified, and you can use inspirational. Inspiration is a lot easier to do. You can give people more, um, give them bonuses and such, more easily. Yeah, remember. Uh, right, and yeah, and they don't use damage dice. You use, it's a set amount of damage, and which I think works. Um, the amount of damage. I think you can use actions to do more damage too, if I recall correctly. It's a fun system. It was really easy when I got it explained to me. I don't remember it now, but it was very easy to learn at the table. So I'm sure if I could get it, if you got a copy of the rules, it would be pretty easy to pick up. And you know, it was a good time. We played a slightly bridged version because of extenuating circumstances, which actually led me to another TTRPG because of the extenuating circumstances, we played a truncated. We sat at the table for a while. The DM was slightly late, and then DM ran a slightly truncated version for about half, a slightly truncated, which was very exciting. Basically, we just skipped a lot of the pre-adventure and just got right to the main boss, which was fun, honestly. And given the circumstances, the right play. But then after that, one of the players at the table, who also did tend to run, who knew the DM because he also ran DC 20, suggested, hey, I have a new TTRPG we're testing. So we moved on and did that instead. So I got to playtest another TTRPG, which isn't even in final format, and you probably can't even get copy now. But actually, it's called. That one was a super simple one, and it was called Clever, Cool, Crazy. Basically, you rolled a certain number of d6s, and you got more d6s based on oh your attributes. You had 4 attributes, and you basically your attributes earned attributes. You got more d6s based on attributes, and you got more d6s based on if the DM said it was clever, cool, or crazy. So you could get up to 3 bonus d6s if the GM liked your move. And GM was particularly, because it was a con game, GM was being particularly hang on. I had a specific name for their GM, which I can't remember off the top of my head. It's just impressions of the systems, kind of vibes. And yeah, but that was the big thing on this one was clever, cool, and crazy. Other players could say, hey, actually, I think that's very clever. And the GM, or this one, I have notes for. So, essentially, he gave us handouts. Probably have notes on all these, actually. So, oh, no. Okay. I had this dice bag in my other bag, which was along with all my TTRPG stuff and extra business cards. I gave the last one, actually, to the DM of our DC-20 adventure when I saw him at the end of the con. But I spilled all my dice, so, that, because it came undone, even though I was sure I tied it when I slipped it in my bag, it came undone. Which always happens. Here. But I also got this D20 for playing the 5e organized play Wardens of the Eastern Marshes, which was fun, and I got to play a level 1 rogue, and I was the only player in the game, so, and I knew the DM too, and he, all his players dropped out, and he was like, I wonder what the game is. Tell you what, I'll ditch my other game and come in. So I was gonna play a board game, and I ended up being in his game instead, and you know what? It was fun. I feel bad for the other DM, but that's also happened with the. I was supposed to play Traveler, and that didn't work. But I ended up playing a different game, which also was really cool. I'm gonna put this aside. This is my convention pack of dice that I keep in, that I bring to conventions now, because that's how my life has come, and I have a convention pack now. Um, okay. I also spent the entire thing running fruit by the foot. Oh, and I got another pack of dice too. That I bought one. I was very, very good. I only bought one pair of shiny Quick Pack Math Rock, one set of shiny Quick Pack Math Rock, which I did not put in this bag, but trying to get as many of them into the bag as possible. They tend to come loose. That's what happens. So what happens is every time that did not have. That's why that should not have gone there. Okay. I also have empty pencil boxes because you know. But yes, dice. Oh yes. So trying to get as many of them. Make sure I don't have any loose ones. What I was going to do, and I realized this wasn't put properly, was pull my knitting bag out of there. I got a wizard's hat. I will get to that when I get to Sunday. I'm kind of going in order, I think. Basically. Uh, yeah, basically I'm just going as a recap of all the cool stuff I did. We're going in order. And, if you have any questions or want me to provide links or anything like that, pop in the chat. Feel free. Oh, shoot. I didn't put notes that I was going live. No wonder we only have one viewer. Also, whoever you are, hi and welcome. I need to put up that I'm going live. And I probably should. Go to here and let's see. Yeah, so we played cover. Yay. Let's see. So as that one, yeah. Uh, yes, yes. Um, okay. So yeah. All right. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to say that I am live, so that anyone. Let's see. I do not play any Greyhawk games, and I feel like I should have, but I also am so immersed in Greyhawk all the time. So I wanted to try out some new systems. Uh, yeah. Um. Huh? Um. Let's see. Okay. Yes. Okay. Um. Um. Okay. So sorry. Um. Yep. Cool. That's fine. All right. So Uh. That's okay. What was I gonna say? I thought I was gonna say. Um. There's yeah. The amount of pages that they use Facebook extensively for their posting, and I haven't been on Facebook in a while. Well, I was on at least once for something uh vaguely related enough to change my name so that I am actually on Facebook, and then my dead name, and also um and then my Eleanor, and she's like nearly 2 now, so I think um she's a child of a friend of mine who maybe I shouldn't have said her full. No, I only said her first name. She's a child of a friend of mine and is very cool, and I was glad to meet her. At some point, it just took a while because I'm not connected with them. I lost contact with a lot of my friends from that group. And oh, right, sorry, I am supposed to be doing things, um, having things. Look, I was supposed to be doing. I was also supposed to be telling you about Clever Cool Crazy. Right, you'll have to forgive me. Um, I have this notebook. It's my convention notebook. I have a character sheet from pretty much every single game I've played in a con. Um, ever like Oh, I have so these ones are, let's see, Tiefling Warlock, Elegance. That was my last game of the con. We also had the Star Trek game, which I played on Saturday, which was so cool. I got to play with one of the um, writing creators for Lower Decks. Also, let's see, BattleTech. Not the first time I played it. I don't have the character sheet. What's this one? Oh, and Riverbank. Those of you might know that I played Riverbank. I did a sort of review on Riverbank. I did it on the All on the Table. Uh, um, uh, First link of the night. Um, but So I had a chance to play with the creator of Riverbank, who did spend half the time explaining her thought process for it, which like for a good over half an hour of it. But we did actually get to play, and she's really cool. So I don't look into that too much. Um, I should be able to type. I think I got that right. Did I get that right? We shall see. In any case, huh. I did it. I typed it in right. That one, it's very hard. I typed it in right properly the first time, so kudos to me for that. Oh, here's clever, cool, and crazy. Oh, I have a, I've heard in the Warden of Eastern Marshes. That's where I got that D20 from. And mouse. If I ever play another Warden of Eastern Marshes games, um, that's the 19th. Okay, so that was from last convention. So I don't think I kept the DCC. I definitely kept the sheet. I just don't know where it is. It just isn't with all the other ones from that con. But I have the clever, cool, and crazy sheet, which is this one. Um, uh, Glenn Finney. All right, served. Let's see. Um, there was yes, you have things like conditions, features, and during assets. Oh, we had ethereal assets is our donkey was blessed. Um, we had a cleric in the party. Um, um, since his niche was clericing, he said, you know what, I'm gonna bless this donkey. And you're like, you know what? That's clever enough. Roll for it. He made the roll, and we had a blessed donkey. Dude, Thump. Like, they give you bonuses for good roleplay. So we had Thump the donkey, and he was such a sweetheart. Like, the goodest donkey. He stayed in the stable, though, where we went off to fight the, what's it? Okay, so there's that. What was I gonna say? Um, yes. Yeah. But yeah, there's so much good stuff at the con. I missed out a lot of it because that's the thing. You miss out on a lot of it because you were in games, and uh, I managed to get. Oh, it's the first time I saw polyamory flag in dice, which I don't remember who. Gosh, I wish I remembered the. I need to link all of the people. Okay, well, so got to play test Clever Cool and Crazy, and I had to play DC 20, which I recommend as a system. I like the action economy. Like the her action block is very helpful. Um, so it's like, do you risk? Do you offer other allies support? You can defend. You can use one of your actions to defend. So it's a question of, do I want to risk defending when I need, because it comes. Um, they restart at the end of the turn, so you basically are saving an action to defend. Um, and come back at the end of the turn. So if you use an action to play defensive and mitigate a blow, you have fewer actions on your turn. So should I just take the damage and figure I can get it in one go, or do I need the extra dice to, you know? There's a lot of questions like that, which I think is very cool. Like having that. Uh, I know the DCC sheet is over there somewhere, but Riverbank, it's just not in the same place. Oh, Elegance, Tiefling Warlock. We got these cards. It's kind of fun. Um, let's see. City of Enrix. That's where we were for that game. That was the last game of the con. The one 5e game. No, I played two 5e games. I only intended to go one, but I ended up with two. So you know. And then I went to a seminar by Dr. Chuck Gannon. I will link him as well. He wrote the Kane Riordan books. This is one of many, many books he's written. He said he's never written a polyamorous sapphic furry romance, but pretty much anything else he's written. Um, He says he might someday, just to not cut off his list. He's exaggerating a little bit, but not by much. He writes a ton of different stuff. Mm. He's a good friend as well, so. Um, but, well, yeah, I definitely took notes on a different part of the notebook for that one, and now I also got Eric Mona's signature, which is really cool. He was the one who created Pathfinder. Um, um, yeah. Oh yeah, that was Never Going Home. I played that last at GameCon last year. Okay. Reading, which is actually last year. No, it was the year before last, because this is freaking. Um, uh, oh, that was that. Yeah. Um, sorry, I have a lot of old. Like I said, basically every freaking time I play at a con, I keep the character sheet. I have a lot of extra character sheets in here, which is cool because then you're like, oh, um, so this one is. Oh, that one was Frank Menser. I kept, which is really cool. That was from the first page. But um, oh, that was one. Okay. It's a Shadowrun. I keep the Shadowrun one in here because it's organized play. Um, so yeah, I keep all the Shadowrun stuff in the folder piece in here. But uh, oh, and this one is from DCC. Okay, so anyway, I am sorry. I am looking through character sheets and I'm getting very distracted, and it's already 3 o'clock. Okay, so I don't have the DCC sheet. We're just gonna have to say that it's in there somewhere probably, and we're not gonna be able to find it. So, but yes, I went to that. I did Legacy at Sea, which is a board game we were testing. It is basically it's a pirate game. It's a board game. It's one of those ones that has a gajillion pieces. It's a lot of fun. You basically play as a pirate, and you have to go from you sail around the Caribbean, and you can um uh, yeah, you sail around the Caribbean, picking up missions, ravaging ships. Except sometimes um, you take down a ship, and then the merchant ship you just plundered uh, is at port. But you want to pick ones that have play to your strengths in terms of their defenses, and it's a whole it's a strategy game. We did There was some terrible luck things that happened to us. Then the last day, Friday night, I was supposed to play a Traveler game, and so that was fun because the DM was late, and it was fine. I was the only person signed up by the time I was the only person signed up. The DM was late, and I was considering there was a pickup game going on. I was considering leaving for them, but then the DM came, and he was with Lone Behold Charles Gannon. And he showed up and said, "Hey, um, I don't know if I'm going to travel with just one person." He convinced Chuck to stay and hang out with him and play, and then they were like, "Aha, you know what we should do?" Because he and I were both scheduled to play in a later one, and this system. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about it. So the system we played with is the last one I played on Saturday night, which is let's see. Empire of the Petal Throne. So Empire of the Petal Throne was created by Professor Barker, I believe. I have a source book somewhere, actually, that I procured at P.A.G.E. Not the rule book necessarily, but a lore book, because the rule is D100s. It's pretty straightforward. Oh, okay. Please don't got too screwed up. I also got a really cool new notebook, so that's cool. Sorry. Um, I'm trying to rush. I'm not trying to rush the recap exactly, but I do. Oh, well, I have my character. This is super important, so I put it over here. But this is the Empire of the Petal Throne. Is basically it's a setting. Let's see. Um, so they have different deities, he had let me keep the entire folder full of um, this, but yes, essentially, I can find that was on the back list. The prices and it's a quite nice. If I can find the actual one, so basically, um, oh, here it is. So Tekkamel is the setting. And basically the Sword and Planet setting. That's what they call it, where there's basically it was part of an ancient alien civilization. That galaxy spanning civilization got jammed into a pocket dimension with just the sun and the planets, nothing else, no stars, no other stars, and they're completely black. There's a lot of ancient technology. It's been thousands of years. Civilization has risen and fallen. Um, they they have very rigid class system. They have very detailed deities. They don't have a lot of metal because it got mined out very early on when in the Empire, and then it got pulled in, and then there was just very little. So it is extremely rare. Copper less so, but definitely iron and steel, and are almost so. See, weapons are made of called shell hide, which is the skin of these beasts that you can, if you know the right alchemical parts, you can make it take an edge. It's good for stabbing, not great for not as good as metal, obviously, but there's that. And there's very rigid social. There's very strong cultural norms and taboos. Um, yeah, and so there's a lot of very non-human other sentient species, but they're very different from elves and dwarves and stuff because they're trying to be very far from humans. And then you have money, and basically we were hired out to defend this guard tower, and it was pretty intense. And that was the first one. So I played it. Basically, the DM ran that game all the time. So Chuck convinced him to run like a mini game where we had to. We were had been captured as slaves and then gotten shoved in with this desert clan who didn't exactly consider us slaves. So we could leave, except that I had the magic. As a magic user, had the magic um, collar on, and also the had the magic limiting collar, which was screwy, and we couldn't get it off because they didn't have any metal tools to do so. And then, of course, there was, yeah. And then, of course, there was the matter of the desert, and we'd have to figure out how to get from the desert and our escape. Ended up hinging on ancient alien technology and finding this things, and it was intense. It was a lot of fun. Tecumel is really cool. Empire of the Petal Throne. I will I will link that one. So um, there we go. Um, Here, I will put it on the Twitch stream and on the Discord so that we can do that. I know not a lot of people are watching. That's okay. It's still fun to go over a recap and live. Um, and let's see. Okay, let me go to um. Yes, the links to stuff's team on stream. I will put it in my Discord link so that you can, if anyone wants to go to TechML and learn a little more about the setting, um, can. It's very intensive, which that's the Discord link. If anyone is not there, it is a fun little place you should go. Okay, so Discord. Oh yes, so we had that one. So we had our TechML game. We had with Victor Raymond, who is part of the vendor. He's part of the group that made TechML, and he knew the professor who first created it, and it was really fun. He was very soft spoken, which, as a GM, is already and as a GM at a con game where there's other games going on and people are being loud and it's very hard to hear anyway, yeah, that is not such a great way to be. What else we have though? But that was the Hidden Guard Tower. So I didn't play Traveler. I played that. I played then Saturday. I played Wardens of the Eastern Marshes, which is a 5e organized play. Wardens of the Eastern Marshes. So we were doing a level 1 adventure. They let me pick a pregen, and I could keep the pregen going forward. I even got a little certificate, so if I ever went to another Warden of the Eastern Marshes game, I could say, here, I have a healing potion, see? And they give me extra healing potion. Which, granted, it got a little wonky because there was only one player, and the two who were supposed to betray us instead ended up helping us fight the big boss, or helping me fight the big boss, and then betraying me. But only one of them ended up betraying me because they so it was kind of a dynamic fight to have fun with it. Because the DM didn't know what else to do with it, and you know what? It was great. It was very fun. Oh, I also, if you're anywhere near Catasauqua, PA, these guys are rainbow concoctions. They make freeze dried candy. These are freeze dried saltwater taffy, watermelon flavored. They are interesting, and the guy who runs it is so knowledgeable about freeze drying. They were vending there as well. I recommend going and some of that. Shout out to them. Um, let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, and then we played Masks: A New Generation introductory one shot, which is powered by the Apocalypse. Powered by the Apocalypse system about teen superheroes. And if you know Powered by the Apocalypse games, it's 2d6, and you really lean into the role play. You kind of lean into the role play aspects of it, and we were all teenage superheroes, and we had we became a you build your backstory for Masks. You build your backstory at the table together. So and we were spitballing. Okay, what did we so you go around in a circle. It's like, okay, so the first time you met, you fought something big. What was it? And who are you trying? Someone important was in danger. Who was that? And what got destroyed? And I said there was a really nice bodega. We fought a giant robot to save the mayor, and there was a really nice bodega that got destroyed, and they didn't have superhero insurance, and they managed to crowdfund the rebuilding, but it was just like felt really bad. H in particular felt really bad. That was my superhero name. Basically, you build up the superheroes. Like you have a secret identity, and do the other players tell me your secret identity? Are you in school? If so, what? Like it started last period of school. We all got this text, and so I am. Uh, we had a lot of fun um, with it, and yeah, intense. We were, the player, all of the players. We had a good time with it. Um, so cool. Yeah, we had a great time. Playing with our superheroes and how we got out of school to go save the day. It was fun. One of them was non-powered, just let's see. Um, um, yeah. So here, that's this one, Masks New Generation, by the same DM who did the Eastern Marshes one. I will put it here, and I will put the link here, and I will put it on the Discord. Yes. So yes, Masks New Generation. And if I ever put this up on YouTube, I will probably put all the links in the video description when this goes up. It will go up. Okay, it's 3:12. I gotta keep an eye on that because I do have to leave for work as soon. I have a day. Having a day job kind of sucks because they expect you to get up and go to work, even when you'd rather hang out and talk about P.A.G.E, and you had to run errands in the morning, so you get started late because that's life. But I managed to take a few days off. Must already annoyed that I took a few days off to go to P.A.G.E, which worth it absolutely, but gotta keep my nose clean from that. So there's that. Oh, all on the table, by the way, that I mentioned earlier, having done Riverbank with, is running today a Blades in the Dark, Blades 68, which is kind of uh, future magical future post um, of the main events of Blades in the Dark, where they've kind of gotten these bubbles to keep out the monsters, and they have 1960 level technology, but they're still they're still monsters. There's still trouble. There's also like crime syndicates and shenanigans, and I don't know if I'm explaining it really well, but they're playing that tonight on All on the Table um, channel if you are interested, and thought I'd give that a shout out. The other thing, so I did play Masks: A New Generation. It was a lot of fun. I played as H, who was who just wore like very basic, very like super basic black mask and actually nice clothes like polo slacks and polo shirt to school and to fight crime in. Um, and yeah, his super identity was just the first initial of his name. He was very much, you know, and had elemental powers too, and could do stuff with that. um, Made fun with that. Um, our game played a kind of looser version, where we didn't exactly play the rules as written, but it worked really well, and it's a pretty intuitive system. You know, Play by the Apocalypse games are pretty easy, and you can give other players bonuses, and it's really a game. It's collaborative, exceptionally collaborative, and you are basically playing as um, um yeah. Um, then we played Riverbank, which I have gone on a lot about Riverbank on this stream, but you're rolling d4s, and it's basically like the entire plot of the game of Riverbank we played, once we finally got to playing, was um um our friend Timple the mole, his adoptive great uncle. I don't know, Timple was a squirrel, but his adoptive great uncle, who was providing him living money, had wanted him to come to stay. And he said, "No, I'm going on a cruise out to the ocean with my friends. I can't go. I'm very sorry." And so, and then his uncle came to visit Riverbank, and so it was very awkward. So we had to, and there was this big soiree, and we had to keep Timple and his uncle apart. But then the snare got loose, so they had to move the party inside from being a picnic, and it was intense. It was very intense and it was high drama, and we were just it was just awkwardness. And he ended up being able to lie to his uncle about having um, the appalling relative system, which I talked about in that. Um, oh, yeah. I don't know what review. It was, you know how it is if you watch this channel regularly. I just was reading through the source book live on the stream for the first time, sharing this moment about the appalling relative. Um, I didn't reach as much, but they had, you know, they were doing other stuff. Um, and what else? Oh yeah, so that was Riverbank. Um, I will put a link to Riverbank. Um, um, yes. Ooh, um, I Kids Johnson. She's very fun. She's very nice in person. And it's always fun to get to play with the creator of a thing. I mean, oh, I'm out of pizza rolls. Okay, all right, we got some time. Um, yeah, they got to play Riverbank. I played Edmund St. Andrews, fox about town, and a fiddle player, and generally a genial host. I think was the tagline. Yes, so that. Um, then on Saturday I got to play BattleTech. That was Friday. So the thing about P.A.G.E is that it is 4 days. So they do have full days Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, half a day on Sunday because it ends at like 3. But or 5 o'clock is when the last game's running, and then at between 3 and 5, which is the last time the Daily Tell shut down at 3:30, 3ish. That's when my last game got out, so they were still kind of shutting it down. And then 5 o'clock, the last games ended. So between 3 and 5, I ended up helping them take down the convention because and such, and hang out with some volunteers who are all very awesome, and it's got some great people who run the con. including Jen, who is so nice, and we helped her pack up. Oh, we had this entire. It was a shelf that had been at the TSR headquarters in the '90s, and it was on display, and they're gonna ship it to. Might have been on auction, but they're shipping it to the TSR museum, which is gonna be set up soon, and we were basically packing that up. So if it gets damaged, it will be my fault, and I'm so sorry. But I offered to help, and they were packing it up, and I offered to help. So I think between us, we did a really good job of it, but we shall see. Um, um, cool. Oh yes, an admin approved the apparently admin approved it. I don't know. Uh, cool. All right. So that's interesting. Oh yes, and BattleTech. So BattleTech, I got to play Battle. So yeah, 4 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I went on Thursday. A lot of people came down Friday night as they managed, or Thursday night as they managed to get off work, or took Friday off work, so came down Thursday afternoon. Depends on um, scheduling. But if I came down Friday night after work, I wouldn't be able to really get Thursday night after work. I wouldn't really be able to get there to early Friday morning anyway. But there might be an overnight. Yeah, it would still be early Friday morning, but yeah. And I got picked up. I got a ride from a friend from the train station in Hamilton, New Jersey, and then because he was going that way anyway, so we managed to scoop me Thursday morning, and it was awesome sauce. And oh, right, I was telling you about this stuff. So BattleTech. So BattleTech is a like a intensive war game minis one. It's a 2d6 system. It's a d6 system, and yeah, it's 2d6, right? Because 11 is like a intensive, like, and basically you add up how much you need to hit based on whether you moved, whether your target moved, the range. Um, so if it's an easy shot, it ends up being like a 4 or 5. You can get to 11. I actually hit a shot on an 11 and got snake eyes on damage rolls, which was a crit, and it was intense. So basically, what did someone say? You miss all of the high difficulty shots you don't take, and because of the way my mech was in, there wasn't a lot of. It was a very short combat, so we weren't worried about ammo. So we were just blowing ammo, and the only other thing was heat. So if you fire too many weapons, your mech overheats. But mine was basically because um, I was supposed to be fast. I picked the wrong. They had pre-gens, and I picked the wrong one, which is very difficult to play. But the other guys at the table, who were all veteran players, were very chill about it, and were helping with this strategy. And I ended up slugging out in a mech that was designed to be fast and light and didn't have a lot of armor, basically toe to toe with this huge mech that was trying to destroy a building we were supposed to be protecting. And it was intense. And then I made the 11 shot, and it's just really a lot of fun. Battletech, and I was very lucky that the guys at the table were so nice about me being a rookie. And it is the particular one I played was the new Battletech missions, which is basically you're members of a mercenary company, um, hired to defend a particular target, and there's a MacGuffin in one of these buildings, and you need to keep them from scanning the buildings to figuring out which building it is. Which the GM doesn't even know which building it is, because basically they have the GM leave the table and have the players choose the building. And we didn't even have us choose; we had one of the players choose, and so that we wouldn't give it away to the GM if we were, you know, um, but basically, which was a choice we made, because what you could do is create a strategy where if everyone knew, then you could work on your strategy. But um, yeah, we had some fun with it. BattleTech is a lot of fun, essentially. Um, and then of course there was the Star Trek Adventures convention exclusive, which actually means we probably won't be able to play it again. But we got to play with Al, who is Al or someone. He was one of the creators for Star Trek. He basically put helped adapt the Star Trek Adventures RPG into Star Trek Lower Decks. Oh, I will. Um, uh, oh yeah, so the BattleTech missions organized play. Um, 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 I'm gonna have to find this, look up this one, but essentially, Google's not much help on this. But actually, there might be a. Um, Here we go. Um, Let me go this way. I think this will work. Um, yes, BattleTech Missions, which is by Catalyst Games. They're essentially experimental ongoing BattleTech campaign. So you basically, it's organized play, and you play as Mercenary Company, and here we go. I will put in the link for that particular one. Um, I'm putting links for all of this stuff so you guys can see all this cool people. So, yeah, basically, BattleTech Missions is, uh, yeah, um, very cool. Um, 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 yes, yeah, and then so it's the same theory as organized play, where you get certificates so that next time you go to an organized play event, you can say, here, see, I start with this and this and this, and you get to upgrade your pilot. It's a lot of fun. Organized play is interesting. I enjoy it, but I don't have a lot of opportunities to go to organized play events. Um, I do have an organized play Shadowrun character, which is very cool. I didn't get any Shadowrun in though. That's one of the thing about Pages. I started looking late, so I didn't get any travel. We didn't actually get to play Traveler because it was Thursday night, so a lot of people didn't show. We didn't get to play any. I didn't get to play any Shadowrun because they were all filled up by the time I was there. It was just there's a lot of stuff I could have done which I didn't. But you can't do everything. And um, oh yeah, so we played BattleTech missions. The other thing we did on Saturday was the Tecmo game. I think that was the only other one I did on. Yeah. Oh no, the Star Trek Adventure, and the Tecmo. So Star Trek Adventure is a Star Trek game, and it runs on a 2d20 system where you want to roll under your objective, and if it's difficulty 1, you need to roll 1 success. If it's difficulty 0, you need to roll 1 success. But if you roll more than if you roll 1 success, you get a bit of momentum. Momentum is just like an extra pool of um, bonus points you get for rolling better than usual, which you can then spend to get more dice into your dice pool. Because if you need to have a number of successes, it helps if you're rolling more dice. Some of them you have to, like you have a 3 success, but you can also use your attributes to gain extra dice. Certain things your character has. I played Commander. I play. He was the ship's doctor and was to the rank of commander, which meant that when we got the party split up and the captain got left behind because he couldn't make the jump because he'd been injured during earlier, we basically I was the highest ranking member officer in the mission, and it was terrifying. Um, the responsibility is a lot. But yeah, so we dinged up our suits. We did a lot of things. Um, it was very intense. Basically it sets out like a Star Trek episode. So there's several acts of the 3 act structure. So you just shift it into the next act. Um, and you do break. Basically the players get up and take like a bathroom break right around when you do commercial breaks. So it's that was someone else. Sorry, someone just followed me, but it was 6 days ago. Which would have been Wednesday. Um, which is cool. That was probably my Greyhawk stream, which is very cool. Um, so that's fun. What else? Uh, I'm. Hey. Um. Other than that, yeah. And we got to play with oh, uh uh Al. I have to look up his name, but basically uh um basically um Al Spader, who ran the who wrote a lot of the content for the new Lower Decks expansion of that particular game, Star Trek Adventure. Here, I see if we this is the all right um yep, Star Trek Adventures. All right. Um, so Star Trek Adventures. Um, it's a 2D20 system. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, your goal is to uh, save the day. And some of them are Star Trek. That's basically your goal. You're exploring strange new worlds. We found this moon that had crystals on it that really shouldn't have existed. And it turned out the Tholians were well. Anyway, I won't tell you exactly. I don't want to spoil it for you. Although I guess it's coming exclusive now, you're gonna get to play. But essentially, the Tholians were involved, and it was so we had to get Tholian web. Um, we had to get out of a web essentially by using these crystals and convincing this engineer, and then we are doing math. And there was the last role of the game was the Vulcan science officer. He wasn't even a science officer; he was a scientist who wasn't officially part of Starfleet, but he was traveling on a Starfleet ship, and she had to make this roll to make sure that the new crystals they put in the dilithium chamber actually worked to give the ship the boost it needed to escape the Tholian web, and it was really intense. And everyone was just all the momentum, go, 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 roll it, roll it, roll, and it worked. But it was very intense roll. And then I got to play more Tecmel, which I was already telling you about, the Empire of the Petal Throne. And then on Sunday we played two games. One was Wizard Miners, um, um, huh, which hang on, let me go through. Um, Petro Gaming Group. Um, Wizard Miners, they do a lot of board games. Wizard Miners is one of like their flagship ones. It is one of my favorites. They run it at every con I go to. They run it at multiple cons, and I go all the time. When I go to gaming cons, I've played like 5 times, I think. Like you mentioned, it's just you go to your con and you hear they're doing Wizard Miners, and you're like, let's go play Wizard Miners. So you play Wizard Miners. I've maybe not 5 times, maybe like 3 times, multiple times to conventions, and it is a lot of fun. I won actually on Saturday morning, so that was fun. Um, the numbers kept coming up in my favor, so I won handily, and it was although one of the other players was this close, and it has to come to the end of your turn to win, and the dice worked in my favor instead of his, and you know, um, so that's um, um, yeah, I say, um, yeah, Petro Gaming Group, um, which is always fun playing Wizard Miners. If you like board games, go pick up a copy of Wizard Miners. It's so much fun. I play it all the time. That's where I got my wizard hat, because at least the con games they say you cannot play unless you have a wizard hat. I have accrued several of them. Yes, I've accrued multiple wizard hats over the years, and it is a lot of fun. Um, I enjoy Wizard Miners. I have one more hat to add to the collection. Next time I go to P.A.G.E, if they're playing it again, I might just bring my wizard hat, and then if I get a chance to play Wizard Miners, I can just have my own hat, and I don't keep accruing them. They are very fun. Wizard Miners is a good time. What else? Yeah, the only other thing I played was one 5e game, Enchanted Masquerade. The DM was super cool. Michelle, she's so cool. But yeah, it was basically um, it was an Enchanted Masquerade. So we played um, bring pencil dice and a sense of humor. It was fun. We basically had we went to this masquerade, and there was a curse, and there was an evil sorceress who was, and they described her as a witch, and then they would turn to my warlock character, who was a tiefling warlock, and be like, not like you, and I'm like, I roll my eyes, yep. It was kind of fun. We had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Oh, and we got to describe the fancy outfits, which was getting to describe the fancy outfits is a key part of any game that takes place in a masquerade. Fancy outfits are like key. And I had to wear my armor under my ball gown, so I had this high collar and long drapey sleeves. And I specified that I have ones that could be tied back in case of combat. But I spent the main combat we got into. Me and the ranger went up to the balcony, basically, so I could shoot. He could do arrows, and I could do eldritch blasts at the shades down below, and I was using the yeah, we used the Wizards of the Coast pre-gens for third and fourth level play, and it was great. We could she said we could swap out spells, so I actually had the spell message, and we did not. And the one time I used it, we ended up getting back together anyway, so it didn't matter, and it would have been fun to use it more. But because I had Factor of the Tome Orlock, which means I could have any spell, so I had Lightning Lore, which was fun, and you know, but I mostly we were down, range doing Eldritch slash arrows, and there were these shades, and we had to defeat and destroy, and we had a NPC bard, Horatio the Bard. It was a lot of fun. If you ever get a chance to play with Michelle, I would highly think DM name is Mrs. D Man. Um, if you get a chance to play with her at a convention, go for it. Lovely DM. What else? We had a good time, basically. We played. Um, there were a lot of cool people I met. We talked to some fun people. There was a lot of exciting stuff. I got some tiny click clacks. You know, all of the things that you do at cons that make cons awesome. I got to do, and um, so shout out. Next year you shall come to P.A.G.E. I think the same uh group, which is Ron, checking on the last name, and his wife Jen, who are a lovely couple. They are running another con in southern New Jersey. If you're near Vineland, New Jersey, it's called Concoction. Uh, I'm probably gonna. I might go for at least a day. I'm probably not gonna go overnight because I am strapped for funds. But I will probably go down for at least a day of gaming for that. It's supposed to be a lot smaller. P.A.G.E is awesome. You should all go to P.A.G.E next year, essentially. And if you do, I'll get to see you. We can hang out. So that was P.A.G.E. That was the P.A.G.E rundown. I think that was a fun thing to do on stream. I'm glad you thank you for indulging me on the huh. This is a non-standard arrangement because the one in the 20 aren't. Yeah, this is a non-standard arrangement of sides. It's a full D20. It's just non-standard arrangements. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna snooze the ad because I think we're gonna have to end the stream. because I have to day job. But thank you so much for all of you for being amenable to being hanging out with me for that. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Um, hopefully you enjoyed. You didn't mind listening to me babble about it for a while. Thank you so much, and um, books. Oh yeah. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. What else? I'm gonna rate us out. Alcantara, I think, is a good friend of the stream. Um, wait, there's freaking Regency Cthulhu. Okay, we're doing Regency Cthulhu. Brotherhood of the Dice. I haven't rated into them for a while, but they are. Oh, Sable's up. No, we're gonna do Regency Cthulhu because they're doing freaking Regency Cthulhu. That sounds fun. So I'm gonna rate into them. Um, thank you all for being awesome. We are on our way. Um, take care of yourselves. Make sure you rest, hydrate, do what you gotta do, and let's do it. I'll be back tomorrow for Greyhawk and all that good stuff. Um, hang on, let me remember to hit the button.
Was anything taken?